Hello everyone, welcome to the course of Database Management System. I am Taiba Farhat and today we are going to learn about views in SQL. So let's begin with our lesson. So the purpose of today's lesson is to understand what are views in SQL and to demonstrate views I'm going to use the platform Microsoft SQL Server. So if you have any kind of questions regarding how to work on SQL Server, so just comment in the comment box and I will upload the videos. Okay, guys, let's begin with the views. I have already created a database with the name of basics, and I have multiple tables in that particular database. Let's have a look on the data in the tables. So these are the two tables, table department and employees. The relation between these two table is one to many. One department can have multiple employees. So you can see the data within these two tables. So here we have a department ID column, which is the foreign key column. The primary key of department table is being added into employee table as a foreign key. Okay, I hope you have understand the relationship between these two tables. If you don't know anything about foreign keys or relation, soon I will be uploading a lecture on relations. So, what are views? Views are basically virtual tables which act like an envelope in which we can store our queries. So, why do we need to create views? Sometimes we have to write a complicated query and we want this query to be executed multiple times, perhaps in a day, perhaps many times in a week, or many times in a month. So despite of writing this query again and again, we can save this query in the form of views. So how we can write views. So here I'm going to write a query which is a bit complicated, and I hope you will understand the purpose of that query and the terms, the functions I'm going to use in this query. So first of all, what I need to write is I want to display the department's name, how many employees are working in that particular department, and the sum of salaries of those employees. So I need these three columns to be displayed. But the question is here that employee table does not have any column for department name. It only contains the department foreign key. So what we can do, we can use joins to display data from two different tables. So here I'm going to write a query which contains joins as well. So select the name, that is the column name, and I want this column to be displayed as department department's name. Other than that, I want to display count of employees, so I am giving it a column EID, and I want to display sum of salaries. I want to give this column the name of total employees and total salary from employee join department. I will use left join here. I will use a left join here. So after you have written the join and table name, you need to provide the reason, the column on the basis of which these two tables are connected. So these two tables are joined on the basis of employee.did is equal to department.did. This is the column which is common between two tables. So this is the primary key of department table which is included in the employee table as a foreign key column. So this is the base on which these two tables are being joined. So we have written the query, and if I will execute this query, you will be able to see a error. And see, we have got an error here. So the error is The department.d name is invalid in the select list because it is not contained in either an aggregate function or in the group by clause. So now have a look on the query. We have used two aggregate function. One is for the count and the second one is for the salary. If you are using aggregate function in your select statement, and if you have used a simple attribute as well, then you need to write a group by clause and mention all attributes which are not mentioned in aggregate function. So dname is the column which is not included in any aggregate function, but it is a simple attribute which we want to display. What we want to do, we want to group our data department wise, and then we want to count all the employees for that particular department and sum the salaries of employees for that particular department. By using group by clause, you will have multiple groups. For example, if we have three departments, one for CS, one for SC, and one for IT, the group by clause will separate these three groups and count the employee for each department. Let's suppose we have 7 employees in CS department, we have 15 employees in SC department, and we have 20 employees in IT department. So group by clause will count the employees department wise and sum the salary department wise. So now this query is fine. I'm going to execute this query, and this query will give us a result like this. Oops, we have a null here. That means we have two employees which are not assigned to any department. So how we can handle these nulls, because I don't like to see null in my queries. But look at the other data. We have two employees in augmented reality department and for the gaming zone and the web solutions. And in the total salaries, we can see the sum of salaries for these departments. So now I would like to solve this null. I'm getting null for two employees, and what I want to do is, despite of the null, I will see some data. So I'm using a function is null. For the is null function, we need to provide two attributes. One is the column. If we find or if SQL find null in that column, despite of displaying the null, we want to display some kind of data like no department assigned. So if SQL finds null in that attribute, despite of displaying the null, it will display no department assigned. So I'm getting error over here. Let me see what is that. For the is null function, I have provided. Okay, I need to remove this from here, and here I will write department name. So now the query is fine, and now if we execute this query, it will give us the perfect result. So yes, no department assigned. Now this is the query we need to execute multiple times. So despite of writing this query again, we can save this query in a particular envelope, and whenever we need to see these kind of this result, we just only need to open that envelope. So I'm going to create a view for this query. We need to write create view department info. So this is the name of my view. After writing this, I need to write as. Okay, this is the basic syntax of our view. Don't worry about that error. It is just saying that we have other queries in this page as well. So this is not a syntax error. This is just saying that we have many statement in that batch. So what you need to do is just select that particular query which contains the basic syntax of view and your select statement. I have selected that query and I am going to execute it. So now you can see command created successfully. This means we have created our view successfully. Now, if I delete this query and I want to see the result, department wise, what I need to do is I need to write select asterisk from view. This is the name of our view. Okay, now I am going to execute it and see we have got the result. So what's happening behind the scene? This view is not at all storing this data. Rather, this view is containing the query we just wrote before. And whenever we call this view, whenever we execute this view execute the query we stored in that view.
So that's all for today. I hope you like the video, and if you want to watch upcoming videos, then like my video, subscribe my channel and share it with your friends. Bye bye.